Good evening, everyone. It is Wednesday, December 6th, 2023, and it is time for another Facebook Live. If you are new to my channel, welcome. You will find on my channel both paper crafting and cross stitch. So if it's Facebook Live, then it's paper crafting. If it says floss tube, then it's my cross stitch. So you have joined me for a paper crafting video. I do this every Wednesday. Come to you live and make something fun. We're going to make a Christmas card tonight. At the end of the video, excuse me, I'm still getting over my cold. At the end of my video, I will put on my blog the dimensions for this card so that you don't have to worry about writing anything down now. You can just go find it on my blog after the video. I also will draw next week. Somebody will win this card. So every week I draw for the previous week's card and I send those out in the mail. Last week we did a fun technique called stack, cut, and shuffle. So we took 3 different pieces of designer series paper, stacked them together, cut them, and then shuffled them. So we made 3 cards. So each card has a little bit of each of the designer series papers. So it's a great way to just make some fun cards. You can do this with any designer series paper. Hey, buddy. So because we made 3 last week, I drew 3 names. So 3 different people will get a card. So I will tell you that at the end. All right, let's get started. Sorry. So you may or may not be aware, this holiday catalog is retiring soon. So I think it's like the 2nd or 3rd of January is its official last day. Some things are already selling out. So if there's something that you want, I wouldn't wait. Tonight I am using this Modern Garden stamp set. So that's this one. Let me find the page that it's on in here real quick. The paper that goes with it is, so the stamp set is retiring and the paper is retiring. Let me find the page real quick, because that will tell me if it's on sale. No, that is not on sale. So this is the, this is the page in the catalog for that. So this is the stamp set that's retiring. It is bundled right now with the Modern Oval Punch. That is carrying over, so that's why it's got the little CO there. It's carrying over. But if you want this stamp set, you want to go ahead and get it now. And then the paper is retiring also. And it's a lot of fun colors. I happened to pick out the one that was a Christmas paper, but most of them, let me see if I can get it to, are just nice florals. So it's really pretty. And it'll tell you on the back all the different colors that are used. Hey, Cheryl, welcome. That are in the paper. And so that's what I'd use to determine what colors I'm going to use for my card. So let's get started making our card. I'm going to start with our stamping our poinsettia. So I'm doing this in Poppy Parade. That's one of the colors in the paper. And there are, stamps are sticking together, 2 different, I don't know if you can see those, 2 different sizes for this poinsettia. So I'm going to get a piece of scratch paper. So I'm going to take the big one, and these are photopolymer, which means there's no cushion in there, so that's why I'm using my Stampin' Pierce mat. So I'm going to take the big one, and I'm going to stamp it off first. So we have a little variation in our, and then I'm just stamping it on a scratch piece of white. And then the smaller one, we'll stamp it full strength. Whoops, I missed a petal there. Just over that one. Just however you want. It doesn't matter. There's no wrong or right way to do that. All right, that's all of our Poppy Parade. And then I have Wild Wheat, which is another one of the colors in this paper we're using. And I'm going to stamp the center of my little poinsettias with wild wheat. There we go. And then the last thing we're going to stamp is our sentiment. And so I've already punched out some wild wheat. And this is Mossy Meadow. Again, I think it's Mossy Meadow. Yes. Mossy Meadow. Another color in the paper. And so we're going to stamp this hopefully straight. It's always a challenge on camera to do it straight. Not bad. All right, so that is all of our stamping. Move all these out of the way so I don't make a mess. And we're going to take our poinsettia and just fussy cut it. So it's not hard. I'll cut some of this off just so we don't have as much. So you want to leave, excuse me, a little bit of white all the way around it. That way, if your cutting isn't perfect, nobody will even notice. They'll just see the stamped image. They won't even notice if your cutting is not exactly perfect. Because mine never is. Just cut around all the petals. You'll notice that I'm turning the paper instead of moving the scissors. I don't know why that works better, but it does. And these are our paper snips, which are fabulous for cutting things like this. They're sharp all the way down to the point. And they're great for cutting out small objects. And we might want to cut that one a little bit closer. Now, if you were doing a whole bunch of cards, you might not want to do one like this, where you have to fussy cut, but if you're just doing a few, it's not a problem. And if you like to fussy cut, then stamp a whole bunch and sit in front of the TV and do some fussy cutting. All right, almost there. Cut that one a little bit closer. I got a little. There we go. All right, let's clear that out of the way. Now we have everything we need. We're ready to start putting this card together. So the Designer Series paper I used is actually 2 sides of the same sheet. Well, 2 different sheets. Because this is 6 by 6, so I couldn't get both of these pieces out of one piece of Designer Series paper, but it's the same pattern. So let's take this, and I'm just using my Stampin' Seal. And so this is Poppy Parade to match the red in this Designer Series paper. And it's just got, again, all the measurements will be on my blog after this, but it's just got a thin border around it. And then I've got a piece of thick basic white. When I'm using basic white for card base, I always use the thick. It just is has better structure for a card base. The regular basic white is a little too flimsy for a card base. So this is the other side of that piece. Again, just putting it down with Stampin' Seal. And I think this is actually Pretty Peacock on here. So we could have used either Pretty Peacock or Mossy Meadow. They're both in this Designer Series paper. And then this I also put down flat. Whoops. Go. And I put it off to the edge a little bit, just off center, because I knew this was going to be over here, so it just kind of balances it. This guy I want to put on with dimensionals. And I just used one on each end. I'm just going to put him there. And then my flower, I just figured out which way I wanted it to sit. And then I'm going to put a dimensional down here. Just one. And then a little bit, forgot to grab it, a little bit of liquid glue on the petals opposite. Not a lot. Because that's going to go up on my sentiment. And that just keeps it from flopping around. All right, and then our last thing is some bling. You have to have bling, especially for Christmas cards. These are 2022 to 2024 in color pearls. So this red is actually sweet sorbet, but it goes fine with this. So if you're doing embellishments, you want to do an odd number and in a somewhat triangular shape. It doesn't have to be a perfect triangle, but that is supposed to be the most pleasing to the eye. And there you go. So quick and easy card. Other than the fussy cutting, you could do a lot of these really quickly. All right, so somebody will win that card next week. Last week, I showed you I made these 3 cards. So the winners of these are Betty and Nancy and Jackie. So I will get those sent to those ladies. Actually, I think I'm going to see Betty tomorrow night, so I'll save hers for tomorrow night. All right, that is it. Kind of a quick video tonight, but this was an easy card to make, so I hope you enjoyed it. And I will get the measurements on my blog shortly. And I will see you next Wednesday. I'm hoping next Wednesday we can do this special shaker card. I didn't have the directions for it. It was for a, thanks, Betty. A technique class that I missed with my friend Kay, and so I'm waiting to get the directions because I want to be sure I do it the way she did. And so we'll probably do that next Wednesday. But I will see you next Wednesday for another Facebook Live. Thank you. Bye.